What's going on, Sagittarius? What's going on, love? Welcome or welcome back to Melanated Mindfulness Tarot. You already know that as you are entering this space, like always, I am sending you all the good energy and the positive vibes that you may need in this time. If you are interested in booking a session or a service with me, if you're interested in following me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, make sure you check out the description because all of that information is there. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Please do so. The messages that are being delivered, on this channel, they are always going to be healing messages, empowering messages, enlightening messages, clarification, confirmation type of messages. And you do not want to miss out on those. My voice seems a little raspy today. What's really going on? What's really going on? Spirit, you know their hearts and you know their situation. Can you please give me the cards that I need in order for me to be able to deliver the message in a way that you would like it to be received? In a way that they'll be able to receive it with an open mind and an open heart. Come and talk to me. Okay. Okay. Ooh. I hear you talking. Spirit, can we have the rest of the cards that we need in order for this reading to be delivered in the way that you want it to be received? So we're pulling from the Thoth Tarot deck, right? And then we're going to go over these energies that we have here. We are going to clarify some, and then we're also going to go into the Moonology Oracle deck before we get up out of here. That's crazy because it still came out in a similar way. Okay. So underneath it all, what do we have? Oh, that's deep. Deep, but okay. So underneath it all, you got the Two of Swords, right? This is talking about some type of like a fork in the road almost. At the bottom of the card it says peace. It's like a peace of mind, sort of type of thing. So it's like there's some pros, there's some cons, but you have to understand that there's always this common ground. Like there's always this middle portion, right? So don't get too confused. Don't be so torn in between the two. That's that energy. Not even I said a peace of mind earlier, but I want you to it's like a torn in between the two of one thing or the other, and you really not understanding how you're supposed to choose. Listen, you pretty much follow your heart. And I know you like, well, how do I know if it's my heart talking type of thing? And it really shows up in your energy or your emotions or the way that you feel when you start operating in certain energy, right? So, right on the table, you got a few. First on the table is the Chariot. Okay, super dope energy because it's indicating like, okay, I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward, and I want to. It's like mentally, physically, because it's the overall type of energy. That's a major arcana card, and it's like, okay, I'm moving forward. Like I know that I am going to be triumphant. You know what I'm trying to say. But it's like, okay, I'm moving forward. I got this under control. Right? You know that you have this under control. Even if things are trying to like spin or spiral out of control, at the end of the beginning of the day, you know that you have it under control. However, you may get discouraged a little bit because it doesn't seem like what you're doing is effective, right? It doesn't seem like what you're doing is actually getting you closer to where you're trying to go. That's what it seems like on the surface. It really is though. Like because you really have to go through certain experiences in order for you to be able to learn certain things, right? Like sometimes you have to go through a breakup to actually understand how strong, like the type of strength that you have, or even for you to be able to tap into the love that you have for yourself. So sometimes we do experience things that we'd rather not experience, but we have to experience those things so that we can learn whatever it is that we need to learn or tap into, relearn. I want to say relearn. Because for me, like everything that we feel like we don't have is something that we kind of like suppress, something that we kind of like pushed off, right? But you have this within you already. There is just something that happened in your day-to-day life or that gradually happened over time that kind of like shut that part of you down to where you don't feel as confident to show up, or if you don't, you don't feel like you have this in you. You do. It's there. It's always been there. Sometimes we just start to tap out. And I feel like that's what they're trying to get you to realize. Like, with all due respect, right? We don't know it all. Like, you don't know everything. So don't be so closed off to receiving new information because of whatever reason. I'm hearing because of where it comes from. You gotta understand, and understand that there is an overload of information that we tapping into right now, right? Individually and collectively. So just because you've been operating in something for as long as you have doesn't mean that that is the only way. And I try not to use the words right and wrong too much, because for me, nothing is ever right, nothing is wrong. It just is what it is, right? I say that I don't try to use the words in the way of saying that people are right and or wrong. It's how I'm showing up and how I see things, because you got to understand, you don't know how people were raised. You don't know what they've experienced. You don't know certain things, right? Just like we don't everybody don't know everything about you. And just because I think that, I don't know, just because I think something is right or wrong, good or bad, doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it is to you. I may think that guns are a bad thing, right? Because people around me they've been killed by gun violence, or they've things have happened. There's a lot of gun violence. Let me just say that there may be a lot of gun violence, but on the other side of the spectrum, you may think that they're not a bad thing, because you know that they can be used for protection or something like that, right? You just gotta be open minded and allow yourself to be able to receive. And when there is information that comes to you and it makes you feel uncomfortable, do your due diligence and do your research, because you never know what you can learn. Like, spirit gives you certain information to lead you in certain places in order for you to find out other information. It'd be so dope how it happens. Because again, it can be like, I don't understand what that is, or what is you talking about, right? Like, what are you talking about? That don't even make sense. Man, just look it up. So when you go look it up, not only do you find out the information that you were looking for in that moment, but you learn so much more, and it opens your mind up to going down a whole nother pathway to learn something totally different, or to start running into different people. It's crazy. It's crazy how it happens, but it's super dope. And it's time for you to pretty much start tapping into your inner child, right? And paying attention to your intuition. Now, I don't know how many times y'all done had this card already, but this is something that needs to be done. Tapping into your inner child, love. And you like, how do you tap into your inner child? Oh, there's a number of different ways. And I guess depending on the person, depending on the individual and what's actually comfortable for you, dictates and determine like the different ways that you can actually do so. But writing, coloring, um, singing, dancing, playing video games, the things that you did as a child that were fun to you. You may think now like, oh, I'm too grown for that. Like, I'm too grown, I can't do that. And says who? You can go to the park and you can swing on the swings. And just like when you start swinging on the swings, it's gonna bring this whole little smile over your face, because you're honoring your inner child. It's gonna feel so good to you, like on a spiritual level, that you're gonna be like, dang, I should have been did this. But you've been counting yourself out this whole long old time. But tapping into yourself leads you into a good space. Paying attention to your intuition, trusting yourself, right? It leads you into a good space. It leads you into whatever it is that you're asking for in a physical reality. The Ten of Discs shows up. The Ten of Discs is all about like your finances, your security, your stability, your wealth, right? I just heard health is wealth. So make sure that you just taking care of yourself. Make sure that like you're honoring and taking care of yourself for real, and not for play. Stop counting yourself out. Stop thinking that you don't have what it takes. Stop thinking that you lack something. Stop think like, again, they're trying to really get you to realize that everything that you need is already within you. This ain't something that you got to go find. It's something that you have to tap into. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, especially if you're not satisfied with where you are right now. You ain't got you don't have to do like, what is it, like the quantum leap. You don't have to focus on trying to do this all at one time. You have to really just start implementing the small steps, because they all add up at the end of the day. It's all going to add up at the end of the day. Is you just have to put yourself in a position to just want to go forward. You just want to do it. You got the Knight of Discs and you got the Knight of Wands, and they both come out in reverse. So for me, this is the first card, and then it goes into this one. So it's like you're holding yourself up. You holding yourself back from moving forward. Like you holding yourself up from actually just going for it, for whatever it is. And I get it though. I definitely get it, because how can you move forward when you're not really clear on what it is that you want? And when I'm saying clear, yeah, you probably can see certain shit, right? You can see certain stuff. However, when it comes down to you manifesting, if you ever experienced those things where you was like, yeah, this is what I asked for, but I didn't want it to show up like this, because you were not clear. Because true enough, like truth be told, you're getting everything that you ask for. Everything. Everything. Everything that you're asking for, you're getting it. Might not be showing up in the way that you thought that it was supposed to show up, but trust me when I tell you, you're getting everything that you asked for. And there's no reason to be confused about nothing. Just get clear on what it is that you want, whether you have to start writing these things down, because you can see it in your mind, right? And you know what you want it to make you feel like. But it's almost like instead of leaving the end open for the infinite and endless possibilities to bring you what you're asking for, you're trying to be precise, I guess. I know what I get it, I hear it, I see it, right? But it's like, give it to me. You want a healthy friendship. This is just an example. You want a healthy friendship, and you're trying to force this healthy friendship with someone who you've been friends with since you were in the third grade. Okay? But they're not in a position to give that for you or for them. So you're trying to force it from out of them. Spirit is telling you to let this situation go so that you can get what it is that you desire to have, but you're holding on to this vision because this is how you see it with this individual, when that individual might not even be the person who is at the end of the story with you. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So it's like you have this like you're holding on to the expected outcomes that you've created for yourself and other people, instead of just having this expected outcome for you. Instead of you like putting yourself in alignment with what it is that you're trying to bring forth or what you're manifesting into your life. You can only control you, how you react, how you respond. You can't control other people or the roles that they play. I hope that put two and two together for you. Like I'm asking for something. This is how that two of swords energy is. I'm asking for something, but it's not showing up in the way. So like, what am I doing wrong? You probably not doing anything wrong. You're doing absolutely everything right. And now they're trying to show you, they're trying to teach you like this is how you have to move forward. You're gonna have to let go of some stuff in order for you to come into what it is that you actually desire to have. So we got quite a few in reverse. So we're going to start with the Six of Swords. We're going to start with the Six of Swords. Spirit, can you give us the cards to clarify the Six of Swords? There is the Ten of Swords. There is the Seven of Wands. Spirit, can we have... Look, they gave us like 8 cards. All we need is 1 or 2 more. Look, all we need is 1 or 2 more. That's dope. And it leads into the Hierophant as well. So we got the Ten of Swords, we have the Seven of Wands, and then we have the Hierophant. And after the Six of Swords comes the Hierophant card. Okay, so again, Everything starts in your mind. You be really overthinking some situations for whatever reason. And when you start overthinking, that's where the conflict or the combative energy comes from. Because you overthink it instead of just paying attention to your intuition or paying attention to your inner child. Excuse me. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no mistakes, there's no coincidences. Trust me, again, everything is happening exactly how it needs to happen in order for you to become aware, in order for you to be able to see things, right? However, it's like you fight against it because you fight against yourself. You fight against yourself in the fights that you have against yourself, then they become these manifestations of you having issues, problems, concerns, or whatever with other people outside of yourself. But it's only because you're not listening to you. It's only because you're not paying attention to you. It's only because you're not honoring you. It's only because it's necessary. It's very necessary. You got to learn how to trust yourself. You have to make a conscious decision to trust yourself. And then also to, you know like when you see something, know that it's not happening, I guess, like in vain. Like it's not happening in vain. It's happening for a reason. It's, you know how they say everything that is happening to you is happening for you. Like everything that you're experiencing is pretty much preparing you for where you said you wanted to be. That's that energy. And you don't want to be resistant to that. Just put yourself in a position to be willing to learn new things. There is some dope information out here that can really, really help you get from point A to point B. Because while you're trying to go from A to Z, there's gonna be so much in the middle that you're gonna have to end up going back to get the information. Because you all that stuff that has to happen between like B through X, Y, Z, B through Y, those are things that are getting you prepared to be able to operate in your best when you get to Z, right? So you have to learn things about your confidence. You got to become more courageous. You have to be more persistent. You have to be more um, disciplined. All of these things, these are lessons that you're learning along the way in order for you to be able to get into that space. But if you're constantly refusing to adjust, if you're constantly refusing to dismiss the lessons that are being taught, then you're going to have to keep on going back into that space and doing it all over again and over again and over again. And who wants to do that? Who wants to do that? Spirit, can we have the cards to clarify the Three of Wands in reverse? Yeah, so we have the Seven of Cups in reverse, we have the Two of Discs, and then we have the Four of Swords. It's that energy of like everybody has strengths and weaknesses, right? And you focus more on your weaknesses than you do your strengths because you feel like it's the lack of something, which it doesn't make you feel good. So I would encourage you at this time or at this point to start paying attention to your strengths. Because if your weaknesses are your weaknesses, you don't have to focus on trying to becoming stronger. You don't have to focus on trying to become stronger. You don't have to focus on trying to become stronger in your weaknesses. You can appreciate your weaknesses for what they are and be aware that you can only operate in this type of energy in that space, but you have some strengths as well. Everybody cannot do in any and everything, right? You may be faster than me, but I may jump higher than you, right? You get what I'm saying? So don't put yourself in the like an energy of comparison of, oh, I wish I could be better in this area. Sometimes like, okay, cool, do what you can to become better in that area. However, you still want to be able to focus on where your strengths are. Everybody has gifts already. Everybody is born with gifts, whatever they are. You may sing better, I may dance better. You may swim better, I may, I don't know, whatever. But you understand what it is that I'm saying. they're clearly like you be making yourself feel some type of way when it comes to the comparison type of energy, like a you lying to yourself about what you can and can't do, and that needs to change. There need like pay attention to again the areas where you thrive and become your best in that. Like focus on those things instead of focusing on like, well, I don't have this or I can't do that or I can't never do. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. Start giving yourself credit for that, please and thank you. Spirit, can we have cards to clarify the Ace of Swords? I really want to know like what y'all need to get clear on. Get clear on like your passion, your purpose. That's the first card. We got the Hermit that came out. Spirit, can we have cards to clarify the Ace of Swords? We're going to do one more and see if anything comes out. If not, then they're clearly just wanting you to get clear on like what your passion or your end or purpose is. That's it. Get clear on your passion, get clear on your purpose. There's this light that's within you that needs to shine at this point. It needs to shine at this point. It's like I'm ready to fertilize this. We're ready to bring this into life. We're ready to help you birth this idea. We're ready to help you do whatever it is that you need to do for you to be able to move forward. Okay? No confusion necessary. Do your thing. So, with that being said, we are going to go into the Moonology deck and see what cards actually come out for us here. They play so much. The first card we have is A New Start is Coming. Beautiful. Beautiful. A new start is coming, and I feel it. I literally felt like the zing in my body when that card came out. Spirit, what is the message that you have? Oh, they gave y'all a few. A new start is coming. Your commitment is being tested. Okay? Your commitment to yourself. Like, who are you more committed to? You or them? Your dreams or their expectations? Expect powerful change, and a personal issue reaches resolution. So that goes back again to that Two of Swords. That personal issue reaches resolution. It's coming. It's there. Like you just gotta stop focusing so much on the problem, so that the solutions, the energy of the solutions, could present themselves. You're a creator. You are creative. Period. So prepare yourself. Like, no, have faith. You sometimes you have to see. How can I say this? Sometimes you want to see things in order to believe it, but sometimes you have to believe it in order for it to be seen. Okay? So don't get so caught up in what it looks like. When you know, you know. And you need to just start knowing, trusting, believing, and again, opening yourself up to being able to receive new information, new whatever it may be, because it's going to be very helpful for you in this time. So expect that powerful change and get ready for whatever is ahead of you. Start paying attention, though, to your inner child and your intuition. And with that being said, love, I definitely hope this brought some more clarity, some insight. I hope this helps. And until next time, enjoy yourself.